everybody, and welcome back to the Brown Señoritas. I'm Stacy.
I'm Desi.
And I'm Caro.
And we're so excited to be recording today because I think this episode's going to be fun. I'm excited for this episode. Should we, disclaim real quick? Be like, if you are a person who does not get a period...
Or gets grossed out.
And you are uncomfy... Maybe this isn't the episode for you.
Or maybe you should watch it so you can get over it.
Yeah.
Or get educated.
That one. Get over it. It is the most normal thing on the planet.
This is definitely the episode for the girls. For sure.
For the girlies. We're talking about periods. Because guess what? We all have it. Or get it.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
Are we good? Okay.
Sorry.
All
I
right.
couldn't hear them for a second.
You can hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
All right. We just wanted to start off talking about maybe some... Well, first, what is a period?
Okay.
Do we know this?
For us.
Do you know what's crazy? I feel like I didn't know what a period was until, maybe 2 years ago.
The exact...
what is happening. What inside of my body is making this happen. I didn't know that until a couple years ago.
Yeah. No, I think it's been recent for me, too. Especially with having a baby.
Yeah.
They're going to the doctors, they ask you, have you had this done? Do you know what... And I'm like... I have no idea what you're telling me. I had to have these tests done right before. I'm like, I had no idea that this was supposed to happen, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, weird stuff. So, the simplest way I think we can explain what a period is, I Googled it. I literally Googled simple definition of a period.
It's complicated. Let's make it simple.
Yeah, no, so it says, menstruation is a woman's monthly bleeding, often called your period. When you menstruate, your body discards the monthly buildup of the lining of the uterus. And in parentheses, it says womb. Menstrual blood and tissue flow from your uterus through the small opening in your cervix and pass out of your body through your vagina.
Correct.
So we're shedding from the inside. And the reason why that happens is because our body, there's cycles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Within, there's a menstrual cycle,
right.
And there's phases within the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And our body is preparing ourselves for pregnancy. So it creates this perfect environment for a baby to grow.
It releases a chemical that is preparing your body for pregnancy.
And so when your body realizes you ovulated and then you didn't get pregnant, then it sheds all of that lining because we don't need it.
Right.
So that's a period. It's pretty much we don't need this perfect environment for a baby. Let's get rid of it.
Which is so crazy that our body's able to do that every cycle.
And it knows exactly how.
Make it.
Yeah. It's really insane.
And so that led to my other question. I remember when I delivered Natalia, they took out a sac out of me, which I didn't know they were going to do that. But it wasn't too...
You didn't know that?
No, I had no idea. I tell you, I knew nothing. I just knew a baby was supposed to come out.
I'm just here.
You just showed up and you're like, all right, let's get it out of here.
I knew
Literally.
that.
And it's almost like I did it on purpose.
It's your placenta.
Yeah. So my placenta came out of me.
Right.
Okay? I literally saw it. I took
They
a picture
literally,
of it.
take it out.
It's like a second delivery.
I was so numb, though, that, the baby came out. They were cleaning me up, but the doctor kept, wanting to take stuff out. And he's like, yeah, so we're just trying to get your placenta. And I was like,
what else is in there?
I had no idea you were supposed to do that. So, yes, there's a big old sack. I have a picture of it, so I'm like, this is crazy.
You took a picture?
Yeah.
You're aware.
I need to see that.
That's cool.
It's crazy.
I want to see it.
So women can have it get sent to make it pills.
Right.
So you can take it. It's supposed to be really good for cancer patients.
Did
for
you
overall.
do that?
No.
No.
Telling you, I didn't prepare. So.
You should just throw it away.
Yeah, they just...
They really just
I think so. At least they didn't make me sign anything. They're like, hey, can we use this for, experiment, or,
Well, it's
research.
Expensive. I'm sure they keep it. There's no
Dude,
way.
I don't even want to know what they did.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because I know people, pay for placenta pills. It's expensive to buy it.
Dude,
I'm sure there's, a whole dark business behind it.
Oh.
In the black
Most
market,
likely.
placentas.
So anyways, it says, I didn't know this though about the placenta. It says it's a temporary organ. So it's considered an organ, an essential organ. It says it's a temporary organ that develops during pregnancy. It attaches to the lining of your uterus and delivers oxygen and nutrients to your growing baby through the umbilical cord.
I'm dead. That is so crazy. And it's perfect, It works perfectly. Most of the time.
Yes.
Right, without abnormalities and stuff. But it's that just works. And then a whole new life is here.
Yeah.
And that will bring you so much joy and sadness sometimes.
And they're going to live their own full life.
Yeah.
Be their own person.
And also, did you know, and I probably should look into this more, but like, so my mom, when she had me in her womb, she had her, was it my grandma? Something with like generations that you have each other's like eggs or something like that. Yeah. Right? So
your grandma, when she was pregnant of your mom, you were in there already pretty much.
Like, yes, because you are born with all your eggs. So when we are in our mother's womb, she has us who has all our eggs. And those eggs have the eggs of...
So Natalia has her eggs.
It's like we're all so connected.
Yeah.
We're all
the
so
same
connected.
people.
So
that's really crazy.
And I mean, we don't have to get into this, but when I first heard about generational trauma, I'm like, there's no way. Like, that does not exist, right? But, I mean, and I don't know the connection of, like, generational trauma and your mom's eggs, right? But it just comes to show that, yeah, there might be some things that pass down to you.
Totally.
Right?
I mean, it's literally in your physiology, like your trauma response and like your emotions. Yeah.
Yeah, and like it's funny because I see how.
So I'm screwed up because of my grandma.
Because she probably got screwed up by someone else.
Right.
Well, that's the thing though. I see my grandma and the way that she reacts to stressful situations is very similar to how I react, but it's not how my mom reacts.
Interesting.
That makes me kind of feel like I'm not me. I'm the extension of someone else.
Well, we kind of are. I mean, you know, like, yes.
That's really deep.
We're just having all these, like, crazy thoughts right now.
This was not where the episode was supposed to go, but...
No.
But it's interesting.
No, and it's crazy. If you think about your siblings, they're like
they're
like an alternate version of you.
That's pretty insane.
It is, because they're literally made up of the same DNA.
Oh my gosh.
As, like, it's coming from the same
I didn't even
source.
think about me neither.
But they're just like it's like you hit like a button. It's like shuffle the same deck of cards a different way.
Yeah.
That's what our siblings
That's
are.
what it is.
Yeah, because they're the same. I know. It's funny. I was talking to my little brother and I did something for him and he's like, "Hey, you don't have to do this." He's like, "You don't have to do this for me." And I was like, "Yes, I do, because I'm doing it. If I do it to you, I am doing it to myself, because you are me." Isn't that weird?
So weird.
So weird.
It is. It's almost like very sweet too, though.
Right.
If you look at it in like the sensitive side of like, that's, I mean, love, you're supposed to love.
That's why I was like, that doing this for him. I didn't even remember what I was doing. It was just kind of like a nice thing. He's like, no, do you have to do it? And I'm like, yes, I do. Dang. Because it's like, I'm doing it for myself in a way. And then I also knew if the roles were reversed, you do it for me, because we are extensions of each other.
Right.
Like, we are the same. But yes, we're still our own people, though. Like, we're still developing our own personality.
And that makes me feel a little unreal.
Like, our fingerprints are all different.
I mean, we're just a bunch of, like, animals and plants just living, you know?
What is the purpose of life?
Literally, nobody knows.
That's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, literally.
I'm dead.
Well, should we talk about the phases in a period cycle?
So what happens during your period?
Okay. So, do you guys know the phases?
Okay.
There's 4, right?
There's 4.
I literally don't. I know there's, like, the menstruating part.
Yes. Isn't there a follicle one? Follicle?
I don't know that one. I don't know that one.
Isn't that your hair?
Follicle, yes, that's hair.
That's why I get that one hair in my chin every month.
Literally, I was trying to pick mine off in the car, but I don't have to use
So you are in your follicular phase.
Because I have the one.
That one hair. Yeah.
Oh.
Pay attention when you have that one hair come in.
It's always during that time.
follicular phase, yeah.
I get the one.
And right now, my period has been off, so I haven't had to pluck it.
I'm dead.
Why do we all get one thick hair in our Yes! Mine is just like...
My husband will be like, time for you to shave.
Oh my gosh.
See,
that's pretty funny.
This to me, I don't care.
And every woman has one thick hair.
Dude, and I swear, I'm always like trying to look for it, and then there's like a couple days that I don't look for it, and then the next day it's like,
boom. It just surprises me.
It's not even growing in slowly, it's like, boom.
It's just there.
Like it grew through the...
Like, I'm gonna film my chin and just watch it go, boom.
Seriously, I feel like it's not a slow growth. It literally just pops out.
I know. Right. I agree with you. That's the same thing that happens.
It just appears. Yeah. Same.
It's insane. Okay, so
crazy experience. Yeah, so I think that's part of it. So, so we've
got menstruating.
The follicular.
I didn't know about that one. I'm literally learning this today, years old. And then there's your ovulation period.
Right.
And then there's your premenstrual. No? The one before the menstrual.
How do you say this word? Luteal?
Luteal?
I don't know. Luteal phase.
Yeah, luteal.
Luteal.
Okay, I'll educate you guys. So within a menstruation cycle, there's phases. And in each phase, different things happen for a different purpose. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's important you know this because you should adjust your life depending on what phase you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just talking about this.
Yeah.
Like how much we should exercise, what we should eat during each period.
Like, I literally don't know what you're supposed to eat in your period. I just eat the same thing.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it would be life-changing if I actually pay attention.
It probably would be, not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. I know for sure, and every body is different, so some girls can eat whatever and probably still feel fine. Maybe eventually it'll catch up to them, their habits. But I know for sure for me, the less dairy, the less meat I have, the less processed foods I have, even 5 days before my period will be so much better.
Yeah. Do you track that?
I'm going to start.
Because I don't track it at all. And I recently learned about, so I was literally having this conversation with Gato right before you got here. How like the workout like the studies of working out and stuff is solely based on like men. And men's hormonal cycle recycles itself every 24 hours. Ours is every 28 days.
Yes.
So like we have these periods of time where we feel different energy levels, different like appetite, different like sleep, like everything is different in each week. And so I have this chart. I'm going to pull it up and share it with you guys, but it's like the week of your period, this is what you should eat, this is how much you should exercise, it's like then there's another week where it's like, okay, this is the week where you can eat like meats and exercise hard and lift heavy. Other weeks it's like, hey, just take it easy, go on walks, and like because it is based on how we're.
It's so crazy that we go through that.
It's not,
but we're just.
We really only have 1 week in the month that you feel good.
Yeah, no, I did see this thing. It talked about all the the craziness we go through, and there's literally like 5 days, no more than 5 days out of the month that we're like normal. That we're not emotional, that everything's stable, that everything is supposed to be what it's supposed to be. All of the other days, it's changing.
Just feel awful. Okay, so menstruation, you guys know what that is when you get your period, you menstruate, your uterus lining sheds and flows out of your vagina. It's not really just blood, it's literally
the lining. Is that what the clots are?
Yeah. And I get them all the time.
Oh, same. Yeah. It's normal.
I'm like, oh.
Literally, I think when I first started noticing that things other than blood were coming out of me, I was like, I'm going to die. Mm-hmm. But no, it's literally just the lining of your...
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Okay. So then we have our follicular phase, which comes after. So the follicular phase starts on the first day of your period, and it lasts for 13 to 14 days. Ending in ovulation. The pituitary gland in the brain releases hormone to stimulate the production of follicles on the surface of an ovary. What is follicles?
Hair follicle, right?
It's like this seed.
No, it's not hair.
It's like...
I've just heard
Google it.
What is it? Sorry?
Follicle.
It's crazy to me that we don't know these things.
It's a small secretory cavity, sac, or gland.
Okay, it's a cavity. It's like a little hole.
Yeah, it's like
so there's the hair follicle, which is where our hair comes through, like the cavity through of your skin through where your hair comes through. But then there is follicles on the surface of an ovary. Usually, only one follicle will mature into an egg. Oh, okay. Yeah. So follicles mature into eggs.
It says in the ovaries, one follicle contains one egg.
Yes.
In the skin, one follicle contains one hair.
Okay. And so so during the follicular phase, that happens. So, and then the lining of your uterus also thickens in preparation for pregnancy. Which I wonder, maybe that's what makes it so bloated. Because it's like our uterus is getting thicker.
I have no idea.
I don't think the uterus is too...
Like, it wouldn't make that much of a difference.
Right, because I feel like our stomach and...
we're just fat. Okay.
Also, no, it's crazy that we don't know a whole lot about this. Like, I don't.
No, I'm literally learning right now.
Right.
So, yeah, you were learning with us as we're going. We did not plan this.
We did some research.
Some stuff.
Yeah.
And And we have like a lifetime of experience, but again, we just know that it happened. I just know that it happened.
It's just a lifetime of pain.
And so I don't know why or how, like what's actually happening.
Okay, so after the follicular phase, that's your ovulation, when a mature egg is released from the ovary and moves along a fallopian tube towards your uterus. So that's when you need to be careful with getting pregnant. Mm-hmm. Pretty much, it's your like ovulation phase where you could get pregnant. Yeah. Right? And then you have your, how do you say this again? Luteal phase, which is after ovulation. Cells in the ovary release progesterone and a small amount of estrogen. So you should go into like the things that we should do in each phase. Because I'm like,
why do you guys think that we don't know these things?
Because men research everything based on men.
But also because like menstruation is such a taboo. Mm-hmm. Like obviously I was raised by a father, so that made it a little harder for me because my mom wasn't around. So I think it was just hard for him to talk about it. But even then, like you guys had your moms there, and did you have a talk like? This is your period. I don't even think our own mothers knew that much.
I'm gonna go ask my mom what she knows because no, I don't.
You never had a talk like she sat you down and said, "These are your phases. This is what happens."
Girl, bye. No.
This is how you put a tampon in.
Yes, that. Well, so for me, my mom and I are very open, and I'm very curious. So I ask her a lot of things, but this is something that it was kind of like, okay, your period's coming. You're becoming a woman. Here's a pad. Here's a tampon. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And so that's literally, and I think we just accept it. It's like, okay, well, from now on, I'm just going to bleed once a month. And I'm just going to use this, and that's it.
When did you start your period?
I think either 12 or 13. I remember it was like springtime. I remember it was like close to the end of the school year. Either 6th or 7th grade. I think 6th grade. I just remember.
I was in 5th grade. Yeah. And
I was 11 or 12. I don't remember.
Yeah, and I had no idea. No one had told me.
Okay, see, that's what we were talking about last week.
Yeah, I
said that you didn't even know what a period was.
I had no idea.
You didn't know that you were going to bleed.
I would have called 911.
No. Were you mad at your parents for not telling you?
No, because I think no one expected it because I was so young. And we had just moved to the U.S. too, so there was just a lot going on.
But 11 is almost like, okay, it's going to happen soon.
I know. They just forgot that was a thing.
I literally don't know. And I've never asked my parents, like, why didn't you tell me? Because I remember it was a Monday.
See, I would have been pissed. I would have been, Mom, why didn't you
what happened?
Yeah, so I remember it was a Sunday night, and I was like, oh, my stomach hurts.
I'm angry for you.
And I told my mom, I was like, hey, my stomach kind of hurts. And she thought I was just messing around so I didn't go to school, so I wouldn't go to school next day, right? So she's like, oh, you're fine, like, whatever. Next day, I look at I go to the bathroom, I look at my underwear, and I'm like, it's all brown.
And the first
one's ugly. Brown.
Yeah, you literally think you pooped your pants.
I was like
out of your vagina.
Like I'm broken inside.
I just pooped.
Legit, I was like, did I just not wipe well? And I was like, okay, whatever.
That's
and I went to school like that. I don't remember feeling more blood coming out. But then the second day happened again. I'm like, what the heck? Like, what's going on?
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
And then that's when I was just like...
5 of them.
It will last 5 days.
Sometimes 7.
Yeah.
I remember just got almost like embarrassed. But I still told my mom, like, hey, Mom, look at this. And I remember her, like, opening the door of the bathroom. I was still sitting on the toilet, and I show her, like, my underwear. I'm still having it, like, around my legs. She's like, oh, no. And my grandma was visiting us.
Oh,
and
my
so
gosh.
my mom was like, Mom, come here. So
they make it such a show. Like, they literally... My time, they called my whole family to see it, too.
What? Ew,
why'd they do that?
Dude, and then my dad that night, or no, the next morning, because he was working nights, next morning, I go to, like, say hi. It's, like, early in the morning. He was still in bed. He's like, come here, baby, come here. He was, like, so sad. I'm like, what is happening? No one had told me. We had not had a menstruation talk at school. You know how they teach 5th graders towards the end of the year, they're like, hey, this is what could happen here.
I'm dead that you didn't even expect this to happen.
No idea. Nothing.
Wow.
I'm shocked.
Well, because she's also the older sister, because I only knew about it because my sister got her period. Because no one told me anything.
That could have played a big factor. But yeah, I had no idea. And I've been doing it since then.
Right,
wow.
Right.
Oh, yeah, getting your first period is quite traumatizing.
See, for me, it wasn't. For me, I was like, I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to happen. Because my mom would always be like, oh, your period's gonna come soon. Like, your period's gonna come soon. And, like, I don't remember learning about it. I just knew because I guess we talked about it. And I'd always see my mom buy tampons and pads at the store, so I knew what they were. Like, I was like, oh, that's what she uses.
I never saw my mom buy that stuff.
You know the little boy that's like, what are do you know that, like, Vine or whatever? He was like, you use these for your butt. I saw you. You use these for your butt. And the mom is like, what?
Now I know.
I saw you long time ago days. That's what he said.
And, like, trying to figure it out what pads you like, or tampon, like,
oh, that's a whole learning.
It's a whole other thing.
That we'll get to it.
Like, trial and error for years to find
I still am very unhappy with what I do.
I'm dead.
It changes all the time.
Yeah. I'm happy with my pads.
You are?
Yeah. Like, I know a lot of people think it's gross, and that's fine. But it's just more comfortable for me.
Yeah.
And my lifestyle. Obviously, there's pros and cons, like swimming, you know? That's something like, I'd rather not go.
Yeah, that makes it so hard.
Okay. That's it, though.
Before we talk about what we prefer, finish your story.
Oh, yeah. How I got mine?
Yeah.
So I remember I was at church, and for some reason, my mom didn't go to church with us that day. I think she was sick or something, stayed home. So it was just my dad and my siblings.
You got a period at church?
Yeah, at church.
Wow.
Yeah. So but I knew this was coming. Even my mom was like, I'm surprised you haven't gotten your period yet. Like, I'm shocked you haven't gotten it yet. And I was like, oh.
I don't want it.
But yeah, I was at church, and I went to the bathroom, and I saw the brown stain because it was so gross. I remember being like,
it's so nasty.
like, you literally feel like you pooped your pants. But I saw it, and immediately I knew. I was like, it's here. It's here.
No way.
So I, like, just made myself a little, like, toilet paper pad. Oh, put it in my undies.
So cute.
And I, like, went to my dad, and I was like, hey, we gotta go home. He was like, why? I was like, I just think, let's just go home. He was like, why? And I was like, I think I got my period. He was like, oh, okay. And then, but it was towards the end of church. So then we went home. I went to my mom's. I remember, like, exactly, like, where I was. Like, I went to my house, went to my mom's room, we went to my mom's bathroom, and I was sitting there, and I was like, Mom, I got my period. And she was like, cool. She's like, this is a pad, put it on your underwear, and change it when it's full. And I was like, cool. And that's what we did. And then, I guess I'll start the whole, like, what we prefer process, because I was like 12. Yeah, I think I was 12. And then that summer, oh my gosh, I'm gonna tell you my most embarrassing story, okay?
Okay.
I didn't know that pads were, like, absorbent of all things. I thought they just absorbed period. Turns out they absorb water. So I went swimming like a dumbass. I went swimming.
What are you talking about?
I went swimming in that summer, and I was wearing my swimsuit, but I was like, oh, but I'm wearing my underwear too, so I'm just gonna wear shorts over my swimsuit and go swimming like that. Normal, right? No. Tell me why. One, it got big, and two, there was, like, brown stains on my shorts. I was like, what is that? And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's my period. And I was with all my cousins, like, everybody. So I just remember I grabbed a towel, wrapped it around me, and I just sat the rest of the time. The rest of the whole swimming day, I just sat in my towel because I didn't have stuff with me. I also didn't pack another pad, thinking, I just need one for the day. I'm good.
Literally a heavy diaper.
So, like, literally, and that was probably, like, the second time I ever got my period.
Yeah, you live and you learn.
You
never go swimming with the pad. Do
not ever. And
I've done that too.
And another thing, always over prepare with periods.
You
never know. Like, tell me why sometimes I think I need to grab 12 tampons when I really just need one. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you never know. You never know. Anyway.
I mean, I'm just really glad that none of us got our periods in the embarrassing way, because it could have bled through your pants at school.
Yeah, you always.
Because I've had friends that got their periods, like, in class, and they got up from their seat.
Stained, like, after my first time.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Oh, totally.
But the first time I think is the most traumatizing, because I was like.
But I feel like it doesn't come out, like, gushing out. At least it didn't for me.
Well, if you're wearing, like school uniform, they're usually such that quality and, like, thin, or like
pants.
A skirt. Yeah,
a skirt.
It can definitely bled out. Bled through.
Yeah, but yeah. So then that summer, I just whatever. Next summer, I do remember I was gonna go swimming again, and I was like, "Hey, I've been traumatized by this. I'm not going swimming in a pad." I was like, "Mom, I need to wear tampons now," and she was like, "Now this is crazy," because my mom was like, "What? Why do you want to wear tampons?" And I was like, because I'm going swimming. Like,
that's what you do.
I will not swim.
Well, and there's a little bit of taboo.
There's hella taboo. Get this. My mom was like, I did not wear tampons until after I was married.
Yep.
Because old mindsets, old and very wrong mindsets.
Yeah.
They used to think, especially in like Latino countries, they would say a tampon takes away your virginity.
I heard that my whole life.
I never heard that. My mom, she was like, oh, you want to wear it? She's like, okay, like, just know I didn't wear it until I was older and after I was married. So after she had sex, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, she sat outside the bathroom with me. She was like, okay, you put it in, push, take the little thing out, and you're good. It didn't work. I couldn't figure it out. That first time I couldn't figure it out.
Hard. The first time I tried it too, it was
so
hard.
Painful.
It's so dry.
Well, you just like don't know the angles.
I think I've only tried 3 times my whole life.
Really?
The first time when I was like maybe 14 or 15, it was actually my aunt, the one that's doing the diet for me right now. We went to, I want to say Bear Lake, and I was like, I have to wear a tampon because we're out in the lake, we're boating, fun stuff. I'm not gonna sit on the boat and like leave it all bloody, right? So I was like, hey aunt, can you come with me? Because I thought, she's really cool. So anyways, we go in the bathroom, and so she's like telling me how to do it, obviously like behind the stall. And it got to the point that I was like, I can't do it. She's like, it's okay, Caro, I'm your aunt. Let me come in, I'll help you. And I'm like, no, it's okay.
I'm good with that.
That's nice of her.
Very nice of her, and it wasn't like I didn't feel like weird about it. I was just like, I don't want it. Like I really just don't. And then there's been 2 other times that I tried. I was like, no, not for me. Like I just never felt 100% comfortable.
It's because you haven't gotten it in right.
I agree, but
because the moment you get it in right, you will never go back. I promise you.
Yes.
And I know it's a daunting thing.
Because you don't even feel it. It's like in there, you go about your day. Because you know how sometimes pads, they can like kind of scratch your vagina a little bit.
They chafe you.
They chafe.
Yeah.
No.
Like, it's
that's if
and you can smell it.
Yeah.
That's if you wear it for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm pro at TMI.
No,
like changing
but
it all the time.
The little tabs on the
side. You do have to have wings. Don't ever get pads without wings.
No, I've done that.
Dude,
before.
I used to double pad because I didn't know how to put on a pad when I was in 5th grade because I didn't know what was going. Like,
your mom didn't show you how to put on a pad?
No, I think at the time I didn't know that like long pads existed.
So you would do one and one.
Yeah.
Okay, not side to side.
Okay, I was like, that's so unnecessary.
Because I was just like, I want to be
Does
safe.
that even fit that many pads down there? Just
you're
walking out.
Like this, because I was like, I'm gonna be covered on all angles, right?
Right.
I was just like, I'm gonna be safe, and I did that for a really long time. I want to say like most of junior high.
There's literally pads that are this.
I didn't know.
But that's what I mean by trying it. You literally have to go to the store and buy one new packet every time you get your period until you find the one.
Yeah.
The one where you're like, this is where home is for me.
See, I've never had to worry about like tampon infections either.
I've never had one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something.
Okay,
this is going to be way TMI. I'll finish. Okay, so I couldn't get it. No, you're good. I couldn't get it. And so I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not trying. But then like the next month we were going swimming again. And I was like, I
hate this.
I love swimming. I will not say no to swimming. So I'm like, I'm going to get it. So I literally grabbed my mom's box of tampons, went to my bathroom, and there was probably like 40 tampons in there. I'm like, and I'm going to try it. Every single one until I get it. I would try one and go not throw it away. Get another. Little did I know, I'm like just throwing money away because tampons aren't cheap.
Well, it's because once you push it in, there's no going back.
You can't.
You have to get another one.
And I just kept trying and trying by myself, and I just kept trying until I got it. I tell you, the moment you get it, you know you got it because you're like, I no longer feel it. And from that moment forward, I have never once used a pad again. I'm a tampon girl forever.
See,
and I only wear tampons. People are like, you don't wear tampons to sleep? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I sleep in them. I
do everything. And
people are like, well, what about toxic shock syndrome? Girl, I one time left a tampon in for 4 days because I forgot. I remember I was in an airplane. I was in the airplane and I was asleep. I woke up in the airplane. I was flying home to Guatemala. I wake up and I was like, holy shit. I still have that tampon in me. I go to the bathroom. It's there. But I'm
Stacy.
I know. But you literally will never get an infection. I promise you.
Think about trying it since I'm trying to be more active.
I'll be your like motivational coach.
Yeah.
Because I have been a motivational coach.
We can literally do it together.
People.
We'll be outside the bathroom with you.
My emotional support at 30 years old.
Hey.
Or you can just lay open your legs. We'll put it.
Bro, you know what's so funny? The first time I was like, Mom, can you just do it?
Yeah.
Mom, just do it. And she was like, no, you have to do it yourself. And it's true.
Yeah,
you have to do it
yourself. My
mom
would do supositorios.
In your butt?
No. Where did she?
Don't those go up your butt?
No, they go up your vagina.
Suppositories?
That's the divot cup?
No. That's like a pill in...
When I was younger, if I had like infections or whatever, my mom would just push a
suppository.
Yeah, so those go up your butt. You're right.
Yeah, those go up your butt.
They go up your butt?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was your
I mean, I guess it always gets into the bloodstream.
It's through the butt. No, but you can put it through... Well, what is it for?
It's literally like a Tylenol up the butt.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was whenever
my mom used to do that to me. Pause. Funny story. A few years ago, literally like 2 years ago, I had this memory of my mom pushing this pill in my ass. And I just like...
You're like, I want to do that again.
No. I was like, what was that about? Like, why'd she do that? Why did she do that?
I don't think it's a white people thing.
No.
I'm gonna ask white people though.
I talked to my ex-boyfriend at the time about it, and he was like, "Why would she ever do that?"
Oh, see, I totally remember my mom doing it to my sister when she was a baby.
It is so humiliating. But then I asked her, I was like, "I have this memory of you putting this pill up my ass. Like, what was that about?" And then she told me.
I have to ask my mom, but I do remember I was like maybe around 8, 9. So it's like around times I remember. Dude, legit.
You're big.
Yeah, legit.
Oh, I was big too. I was like 9. I had my ass up and all, just pushing the pill. And then
What?
When you don't, because it's so traumatizing. You just like push it out, and she gets so mad if you just put it in again.
You would shoot it out. I'm dead. Alright, I don't think we're gonna air this episode.
There's just have to say like trigger warning.
Trigger warning. We talk
10.
about things going up your butt.
I know if we
and
have
Debbie pushing them out.
Literally, if Latinas are watching us, they're gonna die laughing because I know they've been through this.
But
I don't remember my mom ever putting suppositories in me. I only remember her putting them in my sister.
And
my sister was like 1. It's just
Tylenol.
It's just yeah.
It's supposed to help you with fevers.
It gets into your bloodstream faster.
Okay, because I think
swallowing
that's
a pill.
For parasites.
I'm
sure there's suppositories. It's like a pill, but up the butt form instead of swallowing. Because babies can't swallow pills.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know why you did that. I've been swallowing pills since I was like 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask my mom like why did that happen at that age?
I'm dead.
Well, I do
funny.
remember, but like again, I guess going back to like tampons, like for me it's just never sounded like a comfortable thing. And again, because I have never had success to do it.
Yeah.
But again,
it would not be comfortable if you do not reach like that success.
It can definitely hurt.
But it hurts if you're not doing it right. Yeah.
But again, it goes down to maybe like that education. I never had my mom teach me how to put on a tampon because she did say, I remember she said like, some people believe that it does take your virginity away, but I don't know. And this is when I was like younger.
I had
literally this big. How?
I had a close friend that lived with me for a few months, and her parents came to like stay with us as well. And her mom saw tampon like wrappers in the trash can, and she comes up to me. She's like, "Hey, Stace, are you on your period?" And I was like, "No." And then she goes over to her daughter and she's like, "Are you using tampons?" And she was like, "No," even though she was. And then her dad like yelled at her because he's like, "That took your virginity." And I was like, "Bro, it's not that serious." And 2,
it's this.
That's
big.
not true.
That's not what losing your virginity is. Get real. Like, get real, bro.
You have to push the tampon in so far in.
No, even then.
No,
even then.
virginity is just having. I mean,
it's having sex.
It was consummating the marriage at that time, right? Like back in the day,
right? Or
like
just
you made
having
the marriage
sex.
official.
Well, I've even heard like when I was little that like this is crazy. Girls shouldn't ride bikes because the bike could take your virginity.
I think some people believe that virginity is like if the hymen is intact or not.
Yeah. Because technically that's how they would tell
physiologically, but get real, it's not. It's if you have sex or not.
Right.
Like, we can agree on that.
I mean, but that's how they test for like abuse for kids. Like if it's
But that is also broken through swimming, riding bikes, jumping on a trampoline, riding horses.
Maybe. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's dumb. Yeah. And that's, I mean, I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone that genuinely believes that. But I'm like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, you make a girl feel so dirty, and she already has to deal with something that none of us want to deal with.
Right, and her dad over there yelling at her, like, get real. You don't know what we're going through. You don't know what this is like.
Yeah, no way.
Is there more of the... did we go through, like, what you should do for each cycle?
So, yeah, we talked about phases, and then let's talk about, like, this...
Because then I'm going to talk about taboos.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That was the taboo I wanted to share, that people think it loses your virginity. And I think it's dumb.
It totally is. You should never make a little girl feel scared of that. And then guilty.
Yeah.
For trying to be comfortable.
I mean, it's stuff 100% that we don't control.
Yeah.
It happens to us. It happens to us every month, whether we like it or not. I wish we had some control over it. I think you can.
You know what I wish periods were? If, like, we have to have a period, I wish it would all just come in, like, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, let me just have a 30-minute period. That's it. Why doesn't it
just
be...
sit here and bleed.
Granted, I should not complain, though, because I feel like there are girls that legitimately suffer through their periods, have really bad cramps and all this stuff, and I don't. I literally, maybe 20 minutes to an hour of cramps a week, and my period is like...
That's heaven.
Like 3 to 4, maybe 5 days tops, and it's like not heavy, just I'm chilling. So thank you, Jesus, for making me one of your favorites.
I literally passed out in school because my cramps were so painful.
Dude,
in the middle of lunch. So the paramedics came and picked me up. I started having seizures when I was passing out. Yeah. My body went into full shock because my cramps were that bad.
They can hurt so bad.
And when I got to so they sent me to the ER. The paramedics came in the middle of school. Everyone saw me getting taken out to the ambulance. I get there and I think I like fall asleep or they give me pain meds. But at this point my cramps had gone down by the time I went to the ER, but I was just so tired. It's literally like
exhausting.
It's very exhausting. So I think I fell asleep. My parents show up. I wake up. And the doctor says you could have endometriosis. Right.
But they won't ever be able to know that until they open you up.
Exactly.
Because research is so advanced when it comes to women.
Yeah, I agree. But all the symptoms I had were very similar to endometriosis. So for the longest time, I was like, yeah, I have endometriosis.
You thought you had it.
That's what I have. And maybe I do, but I don't know, really, right? Because
Yeah.
they weren't able to tell me. But they told me, and I've explained my pain to doctors, and they're like, that's what a contraction is. Like, your body is having similar pain to contractions. So literally when I had Natalia, I was having contractions and I had no idea.
Wow.
They probably weren't the worst contractions ever, but I was feeling cramping and I was like, okay.
That's what
Wait, so you were just... See? That's crazy.
Yeah.
To you, your contractions were like, oh, been there, done this.
Yeah.
But see, when I have a baby, my contractions will be like,
see, and now that's why I'm like more courageous to have a second baby with no medicine and at home, because I'm like, if I've experienced these type of cramps to the point of I'm literally passing out,
like you're at the
it's
ER.
happened 2 other times, so 3 in total, that I'm like, oh, I'm on the bathroom floor, how did I end down here, you know, because I've been in the bathroom and then I'm like, oh, I'm on the floor. And so I'm like very curious as to what my actual contractions will feel like if I'm not medicated and have a baby, and I feel like I would be able to take it, and I honestly feel that's why I have a high pain tolerance. I got my wisdom teeth taken out the same day, and I was out around walking like nothing was going on for me.
I suffer so much.
Yeah, so I don't know. It could be also genetics, right? Because I've never had. I'm a wimp though when I'm like, oh, I feel like I have a fever.
I'm such a baby. I don't know how we go through periods.
Anyways, that was my. Yeah, some girls have it really, really bad, and I do believe that there's a lot of things that you can do in order to make your period better. A lot of teas, and just figure out a better diet for those days. But again, Tylenol, ibuprofen. Yeah. Those are some.
I try not to take them because for some delusional reason, I think it's important for me to feel the pain.
I'm like, I have to suffer through. No, but same. I'm telling you, I get cramps for like a little tiny bit, and I'm like, I have to feel it.
Dude,
I'm a woman.
I literally feel them.
So dumb, delusional.
I think just like that. Goes down my thighs.
Really?
Like I've heard of women getting pain on their back.
Oh, I do. Stuff. I get lower back pain. And
I
it's
don't.
So bad.
And I don't get chest pain.
I have a few times, but not terribly.
Mine are just, my uterus area, and I started getting like upper thigh area. It just sucks. And I'm like, there's times that I'm literally sweating because it's so hard. It's so intense. And I go lay down on the bathroom tile because it's so cold and it brings down whatever I'm feeling. And it's like that for like an hour the first day.
Well, and the thing about taking pain medication is, for me, I like to know how normal my period is. So if I like take pain medication, I don't know how painful it is. For me, that's like a sign of health. Like, if it's too painful and you're numbing it and you don't know, I'd rather know that's like a little out of like abnormal.
Yeah, I want to say if you don't have experienced too much pain in your periods, I think it is a good sign of health. Like your body is supposed to be doing what it's supposed to be doing, you know. So
why does it hurt though? I wish it didn't.
It has gotten better since having a baby.
Good.
But also my cycle is way off right now. So.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, I should really be thanking the period gods, honestly, because I don't suffer and I'm very regular. Like 28 days on the dot. I'm like, all right. And I can feel it. Like 2 days before. Oh, and that's like the whole other thing. PMS. Like the premenstrual stuff, bro. And it's funny. It's very linked to my mental health, I've noticed. When I am not okay with my mental health, my mood is a roller coaster. Like the lowest of the lows. Like literally, I'm like, if life is gonna be like this, I'm just gonna kill myself.
Look, I am the craziest bitch before my period.
See, I don't get emotional.
And it's only when, I'm telling you, it's only when my mental health is not at it, like regular.
Yeah.
But I'll get super, super low and I'll get kind of pissy at everybody. I'm like, everything people, like someone's breathing and I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I'll get mostly sad. I'm just like,
and
I'm chilling. Like nothing's exciting.
I feel everything.
Yeah. But then it's funny. The moment I realize why I feel that way, when I'm like angry at people or really sad that I want to kill myself. The moment I realize, I'm like, oh, it's because my period's coming in 2 days. It's gone.
Yeah.
It disappears.
It's just like realizing that's not me.
And I go through this so much. I should just know. But it takes me a good...
It's been 20-ish years.
It takes me a good 6 to 24 hours to realize, oh, that's why I feel like this.
I know.
Also, my boobs get super sore.
Mine too.
But again, it's all depending on my mental health.
Literally
it's like my PMS can be so bad. But right now, I'm like straight chilling. I'm happy. I don't really even feel PMS.
Oh, wow.
See, I don't get it that much. And I don't know. Maybe that's like... I get really bad cramps, but I get no PMS. Maybe I get a little break from it because my cramps are so bad.
I literally cry every single time.
I definitely
have like a horrible night.
I definitely get a little bit more emotional, but I've never felt like raging anger and just like...
For me, it's just like I get really annoyed at everything everybody does.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop breathing like that. Stop tapping your foot.
Stop looking. So
I like to isolate when I'm on my PMSing before my period. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna hang out with you. I'm not gonna see you. I'm just gonna be alone.
Women really go through so much, and we've been going through so much for like the longest time. And I wanted to share some taboos with the menstruation because it makes me think. I'm like, at least right now we have a lot. I would think more knowledge than back in the day.
Of course.
But back in the day, I was reading this article. Literally, they had no idea why women would bleed once a month.
They didn't put 2 and 2 together that it's like, oh, it's because you can have a baby now.
Yeah, no, they did not know why women would and they're like, what? Did you cut yourself down there? No, nothing.
I'm
it's
dead.
Like, why are you bleeding?
Again.
And so some taboos, I believe, well, not I believe, but it's proven here that that's how some of it started. But just real quick, says the average woman will menstruate almost a quarter of her fertile life.
Right. 1 week out of 4.
Yeah. And says, yet there are many religions that hold primitive ideas and beliefs regarding this common phenomenon. And then it goes through 3 main religions, Christianity, Muslim, and Hindu. I don't know if we're going to... and Judaism. I have such a hard time saying that word too. But the main... I don't know if we're going to go through all of them, but I thought these were very interesting. It says that menstrual huts were a thing. So if you were on your period, women would go to a separate place and just hang out there until they were done with your period.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so fun.
Actually,
can we hang out
when we're on that period? But make it nice.
It says this was more luxurious. This is more for tribal religion, so it doesn't specify a certain one.
Go away, you're too complicated.
Yeah, so it says Because the cycle mirrors that of the moon, the process appears supernatural. So a lot of people thought it was like very mystical.
Yeah. Well, and I was reading too that some people thought it was like witchcraft.
Yeah.
Bro, get real.
It says further...
We don't choose this.
It's every single woman. You think we're all witches?
I know. It says further confusing that the fact... further confusing is the fact that menstruation occurs exclusively in females, disappears during pregnancy, and stops at middle age.
It's just us young girls that are the psycho crazy witches.
Well, yeah, but this is what they're trying to explain. They're like, no one knew why young women only got it, why it stopped at middle age, and why it stopped at pregnancy. They just didn't know the basics of anatomy and the rules of it.
It's crazy to think of like Asian civilizations and the fact that they had periods and they didn't know how to deal with them.
And also, I was reading somewhere that it wasn't as regular as it is now because of like nutrient deficiencies and things like that.
Yeah.
There were more irregularities too.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. See, I would think that they would be more regular because their food wasn't as processed and they didn't have a lot of chemicals.
Like they would be better.
Well, I mean, it's like...
I'm sure, yeah.
There's a lot of girls that like when they overwork their bodies, their body goes into like survival mode and they will not menstruate.
That's true.
And
it's because they're in the masculine energy. They start like their body starts acting like a man
when they're working too hard.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, it says here...
I'm going to start working real hard.
So this is a specific place in Indonesia. It's the Huaulu of Indonesia, for instance. I'm guessing that's like a tribe name. They have a menstrual hut on the edge of a village. While Huaulu women must live in these huts during menstruation, they are not confined to them. They can wander through the forest if they stay away from hunting trails. However, they must refrain from eating game. I don't know if this is a typo because I don't know what that means.
Meat.
Oh,
hunting
game?
Meat. Mm-hmm.
G-A-M-E?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. They like this can't eat?
Game is like the like more wild meat that you hunt. Like
interesting.
Elk and moose, I believe.
Thank you, teacher.
Like, you know how they say this meat tastes kind of gamey.
I've never heard of that.
It's like hunted meat.
Huh.
Like, yeah.
Okay, so apparently
they're not allowed to eat
meat.
Okay, meat.
And they must bathe at special fountains forbidden to men. These rituals are performed to spare the men from harm. Girl, there's a lot more into this. But
men are just scared.
They're scared of us.
That's all they are. They're scared.
But I do remember, and there's actually a TikTok influencer I follow. Her name's Miriam. She's a Jewish woman that lives in New York. Or is it Boston? That area. I don't know that geographic. But she actually shares her life as a Jewish woman. And one of the things I was very interested in is they actually sleep in separate beds when a woman is on her period. Wow. So she was showing her bedroom, and there was literally 2 separate beds.
And this is nowadays.
And I think...
So they're still scared of us.
So there's like different... Kind of like an LDS religion, right? There's different levels of like how active you are, how strong you follow the rules. The same thing, obviously, in other religions. And she's an Orthodox Jew. So she's very to the book, from what I understand. And it says that, so Jewish law expressively forbids literally any physical contact between males and females during the days of menstruation and for a week thereafter. This includes passing objects between each other, sharing a bed. Most couples have 2 separate beds, which can be pulled apart during nida. Not sure what that is.
That's crazy.
Sitting together on the same cushion of a couch, eating directly from the wife's leftovers, smelling her perfume, gazing upon her clothing, whether or not it has been worn, or listening to her sing. Now, I'm sure that there's like different levels of how people follow that, right? Because maybe Jewish people,
that's crazy.
People back in the day, the more very strict religious, I'm sure they followed that. I don't know how, maybe they get to pick and choose nowadays, type of deal.
Yeah, that makes sense, because I've heard before people would think like it's witchcraft to have sex on your period with a guy, because that's how you can get a guy to become obsessed with you. So like, I know people do that.
So there's more that they go very into it, but I mean, it's just kind of one of those things that we think is crazy, right? But then it goes into Christianity, and it says that in Christianity, women hide their cycle.
So interesting that you say that, because I remember I was in middle school, and one of my friends, we were changing the locker room, and she was on her period, and she was like, "Oh, I hate Eve for making me go through this. And I was like, Eve? What? What do you mean? What are you talking about? And there are, I think, some Catholic people that believe that we are punished
because of Eve's transgression.
Because Eve ate the fruit.
Yeah.
So it's like, Eve ate the fruit, so now all women are punished, and this is your punishment. You get to bleed once a month. Isn't that crazy? I was like, no, I believe it just means that you can have a baby.
It's not that deep.
It's not that deep.
Well, you know what I've heard a lot when I was little, too? That you shouldn't go swim in the ocean because it can attract sharks.
I'm dead.
That's pretty delusional, too.
I just found that interesting. Like I said, we think all these other cultures and religions have weird taboos about it. Mm-hmm. But then we think that hiding our cycle is kind of normal. It's like, oh, we don't talk about it. Or I don't want my boyfriend to know. Or I don't want my parents to know. I don't want no one to know that I'm on my
so
period.
Open about it.
Whereas these people are like, I'm on my period. Stay away from me. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Oh, wait. Maybe men aren't scared. Maybe us women are like, we just need an escape.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on my period.
Bye.
Speaking of how other religions view this, or like civilization. So, I saw this article that said that the Babylonians, Hindu and Chinese, viewed menstruation as a sign of fertility and a positive omen for the home.
As it should be.
And this one's my favorite. This one's my favorite. The Aztecs and the Mayans believed that the menstruating woman was considered to be the most important person who was treated with respect by society.
Heck yeah.
And then other civilizations thought we were witches, so.
The Aztecs just knew what was.
But you know what's also cool?
What was going on.
That they have seen ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, and they have seen like drawings of like women using tampons. So tampons have been around since like ancient Egypt times.
Right. Yes, literally. I found something about Egyptians.
But now people are like, oh, it takes away your virginity, so we're not using
literally,
it.
what?
And it's dumb. And it's actually kind of interesting because when I moved back to Guatemala in high school, I was already very used to using tampons. Like that's the only thing I used. I go to Guatemala, you will not find tampons at the store. Like you know how here you go to Walmart and you have a whole wall and you've got half of the wall is pads, all different types of pads. Daily pads, little ones, big ones, medium ones, wings, no wings, and then you have a whole other half of the wall for tampons. And it's like super, regular, sport, pearl, all these different types. You go to Guatemala and you've got a whole wall full of pads and one box of tampons. One brand, one type, and that's it. And it's usually cardboard tampons.
Like those uncomfortable tampons.
You know what's funny? People are like, people hella hate on those, but I'm like, I don't care. Honestly, I don't feel a difference. And they're probably better for the earth than plastic. So.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. So apparently the Egyptians is like the oldest civilization that figured it out a way to like, they invented tampons pretty much. And they used it and they made it out of papyrus. Papyrus? Is that how you say it? However...
They're paper.
After that, it seems like we...
Regressed.
Regressed.
Yeah.
Tons of other civilizations were just lost and not doing the right thing, and women were bleeding through their clothes. It was just like a mess. And listen to this. Tampons were actually patented. Is that how you say this word?
Patented.
In the 1930s.
Mm-hmm. What?
That's really late. I know someone that was born 10 years after that.
I think the creator...
Same. My grandma.
The creator of that was a man, I believe. Was it a woman?
It was a woman.
Oh.
The tampon, at least.
Okay.
Used did not become popular until the 1960s. So, like, it was a thing. It was at the store in the 1930s, but it didn't become popular until the 1960s. But this is for tampons, not pads. Because I know people had, like, they would use cloths and other things, and I'm sure that was considered, like, some type of pad or whatever. But tampons for this case. And the menstrual cup was invented around the same time, but it did not become popular until the 1980s.
The cup?
80s, yeah.
I didn't even hear about the cup until like 5 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Same.
Which I had no interest in trying it.
I still haven't tried it. We were saying with Desi, I have no problem using it. I'm terrified of how to get it out.
No, literally.
What really stops me from using the cup is one, I don't want to pay $40, which is very dumb of me because you
can wash that and reuse it.
I for sure spend more than $40 on tampons. Yeah. I buy a new box every month because I'm like, where'd all my tampons go? But for me, it's like you have to. Sorry if you're uncomfy. You take it out and you gotta dump it out, rinse it out.
Yeah.
But I go to, like, at my work, like...
You don't want to do that.
There are stalls and the sinks are outside. So what do? Like, run outside, rinse it out with my ass out, and then go back in? Like, get real. So it's like...
No, yeah.
I think it would be...
It's not convenient.
Not convenient in that way. But I do want to try one and, like, use it for, like, the days that I'm chilling at home, you know?
Yeah, or I was going to say...
never happened,
If you go camping or something, and it's like...
But that's even more uncomfortable.
No?
How are you going to wash your cup in your camping
Gear.
Yeah.
And, okay, but you're
That's what she's saying. It's not convenient.
Oh, okay.
No,
she's saying it is convenient.
No, because for me, it's like, you don't have to carry tampons or pads. You literally just wash it every time you use it.
Okay, but then your ass is going to be out, and where are you going to wash it?
Yeah, when you go camping, sometimes there's no bathrooms.
I know, but don't you go, like, behind a tree and you can just bring a water bottle and wash it off?
Or I could just
never do that.
Throw the tampon away.
And it'll never look at it again.
I guess.
Or we could just never be on our period when we go camping. Actually, I don't know if I've been on my period one night.
Dude,
I was
pretty miserable. Always on my period at girls' camp.
Same.
What?
That's why I had to use a tampon. Because I was like, we always swim at girls' camp. We always go to the lake. I'm not going to
I spent most of my life not going swimming and missing out on a lot of fun activities because I was on my period. Same. Because I didn't wear a tampon until last year. Last year was the first time I was like,
we talked about
I'm going to put it in. I'm going to figure this out because I'm so sick of missing out on fun things.
Maybe this is
your year
of change.
But like Stacey said, like once it's in and it's in the right way, it's so
literally go buy a box and start with like the light ones.
Okay.
Start with the little ones and just keep trying until it does go in seamlessly and you don't feel it.
Okay.
Once you're at that point, you're like, oh, this is incredible. This is, yeah.
Thank you, Egyptians.
Thank you, ancient Egypt hieroglyphs, for letting us know. It's funny. I was talking to my friends the other day just about what like things we go through on our periods, and then it's like, and then there was a boy there that was like, "Did you guys like know about this growing up?" And we're like, "No, we're literally learning as we go." Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there's so many things that happen to me when I'm on my period, like the period poops. That I didn't know that this was going to happen to me. Yeah. And now I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's like you get diarrhea the first day and then you're constipated for 5 days.
And when for me,
it's awful.
Again, oh my gosh. I hope my students.
Even taking the tampon out hurts because you're so constipated. It's like there's no space in there.
See, for me, I'm like, I'll poop like 6 times a day when I'm on my period. I am just like, release everything. Oh, you're getting rid of your uterus lining? Let's get rid of everything inside your intestines as well.
That happens to me on the first day.
I mean, I do feel like, okay, I got rid of a lot of things.
It does feel nice.
Yeah.
It is just a little bit convenient, and it can definitely hurt a little, I feel like. Like the cramps plus belly pain.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Do you crave anything in your period?
No, I'm not
a big
craver. I crave sugar nonstop all of my life, so.
Do you crave?
No.
I go crazy for chocolate right before.
There's times that No, I don't want to. No, if anything, I don't eat as much on my period because I'm so bloated. Yeah. And I'm so crampy that I don't care to
I lose my appetite too, but I do crave chocolate.
You know what's funny? I feel like my life doesn't change very much. Like, there are slight things that change, but for the most part, I can pretty much kind of live a normal routine. I do sometimes, like, use it as an excuse, for sure.
Oh,
to not go to the gym. Thing. I'm like, I'm on my period. Even
when
though I'm like...
When I got my period and I realized that I could skip school...
Oh, see, I never skip.
If my dad's watching this, I tricked him a lot. I was like, I'm on my period. I literally can't walk. I couldn't. I was fine. But like, he always felt so bad for me. I skipped school so much when I was on my period.
Well, use it to your advantage. Absolutely. That's what it's for.
My dad has 3 girls, right? So all of us in our period was just like, what's happening? So I think it got to the point that he was just like, oh, like guys, just take like medicine or whatever, right? And then about a year ago, he got like a really bad stomach infection. I think he got like food poisoning. And my mom was like, your dad was laying in bed and he's like, oh, my poor daughters, this is what they go through every month. I'm like, yeah, basically almost.
Sometimes it hurts a lot more.
That cramping.
You saw that meme of a if men got their periods and it's this dude in the hospital bed asleep. I'm like, yes.
Literally dead.
If men got their periods, and this is so true. Like when men get colds, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm like,
which is so funny to me because they're so like tough in so many things.
They're
but
not.
when it comes to
they're
being
a bunch
sick,
of babies.
Well, you've seen the cramp simulator, right?
Yes.
And they put on men, and it's like they're barely contractions.
But
also
cramps
cramping.
too. Yeah.
It's like the same thing. I want to say.
I've seen the period cramp one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like tough looking men, and they go up in the scale, and they're like, 5 hurts, and like normal for a woman is like 10 or something. Yeah. Like the levels are crazy. But I mean, yeah, I still truly believe that women are stronger in very much other ways. But I mean, obviously, the physical part of it, men, I can attribute that to them. But we just go through so much stuff. Not only do we have to bleed once a month, when pregnancy comes, contractions, having a baby, that whole situation with our bodies. And I think that's another part, like, we do need to love our bodies because it goes through so much change all the time. That you can't, like, be hating your body all the time, like, 24/7. Like, yeah, of course I hate cramps, right? But now knowing that I didn't even feel that bad of contractions when I had Natalia, I'm like, oh, maybe it was for a reason, right? Like, I have to see the brighter side of things.
Yeah, when the Tylenol kicks in, it's like, oh.
Or have you guys ever gotten, like, cramps? Well, I don't know about you guys, but I've had cramps so bad that I'm like, oh my gosh, if I get worse than this, I'm going to call, like, 911 or something. But then your body actually, there's a chemical reaction that happens.
Adrenaline. No?
Is that adrenaline? I'm not sure. But a chemical is being released to your body to calm down the pain. I don't know if it blocks the pain. Like it protects itself? It's like your pain is, like, going up, and then the chemical is released, and
I feel like that happens to me. Because you just feel a little relief.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh.
And then it comes
back.
Yeah, and that's your body helping you with, like,
self-regulating. Yeah.
And so I just found that interesting because you can literally feel the calmness of it.
It literally feels like I'm on drugs. It's so good.
Seriously.
It's like the best relief.
I'm missing out on this drug experience.
It's because you don't feel that much pain. But once you do feel pain and your body, like, self-regulates, like that couple of minutes, maybe hours too, where your body just comes out, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're just like, okay, it's coming, and I feel it, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's so good. I actually do love that feeling.
It's a thing that only women bodies have because of your pain. It's for contractions too.
What are some things that you guys wish could get better as far as, like, our periods? Because it's gotten a lot better within the years. Like, we're at a point where women are comfortable. We have, like, different ways to treat it. Like, what else can we do?
I definitely think that pads and tampons should be free.
Or cheaper.
I don't think we need to pay for that ever. I think that should be, like, a free thing for the world.
Isn't there a pink
And
tax?
not just for us who live here, but, like, for the girls in, like, tiny rural towns in Guatemala. Like, I think about them, like, they have no access to pads, tampons. Like, they're out there, like, ragging it still, you know? I'm like, I think that's a universal thing. It's like, here are things to help you with this. Also, why don't we throw in a free ice cream coupon in there, you know? Like, open the box of tampons, boom. Here's a free Ben & Jerry's coupon for you.
Oh my God, that's such a great idea.
Right? I could be the next great woman president.
Well, I know Spain is the first country in Europe that has made menstrual leave a thing.
Yes, that is becoming a thing. Correct.
And so Spain is like the first country. They implement it. When you're on your period, you can't go to work if you want, but if you don't want because you have, like, well, some people I guess like to work, but depending what you do. But I think that's amazing. It should be a thing because men don't understand how bad it really hurts. And, like, to go to work and do certain things. Because, like, if you have a desk job, maybe you can make it work.
But even, like, concentration
some people have crazy work, like, job obligations that are literally so hard. Like, imagine being the teacher and you have to stand all day teaching and you're on your period.
There have been very, very uncomfortable days as a teacher where I literally am like, hold up, guys, I need to breathe. Or, like, as a teacher, we don't have time to go to the bathroom whenever we want. That's, like, the other thing. I have to time my, like, when I'm changing my tampon hours based on recess duties. And if I'm on duty and I can't go, it's a mess. Sometimes I'm like, well, good thing I'm wearing black today.
Yeah.
Just because, like, as a teacher, I'm like, I have 3 shots to go to the bathroom throughout the day, and it's recess 1, lunch, recess 2. And if for some reason, like, I have duty or something, like, something comes up where I have a meeting, or I've got to go observe, or I got a kid crying, like, and I don't make it to the bathroom, I'm like, freak, I can't. So that is, I have had very inconvenient, uncomfy days as a teacher on my period. That's true.
I think for me, it's, now that I'm trying to stay away from, like, medicine and, like, try to use Tylenol as a crutch, right? Because I love ibuprofen. Like, I literally 8 of those. I wouldn't eat those. I would take 8 of those. That's what I mean.
That's a lot. 8 ibuprofens?
A day. Like 4 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not at once.
I guess I have done that too.
But, like, I do believe, like, kind of what we were talking about at the beginning, like, knowing what to eat and what to do during those times in your cycle. I feel like that is something that we should be more knowledgeable about, or something that should be explained more in depth, because apparently also you can take your temperature under your tongue and you can know exactly, oh, my period's coming up, depending
when you're
on
ovulating, when you're fertile.
So I'm like, I want to know more natural ways of tracking your period instead of just resorting to birth control or just resorting to...
That's a whole other thing we didn't talk about, birth control.
It's a whole other thing. It messed me up. I did appreciate when I was on it because I didn't have any symptoms, thankfully. But now that I'm off of it, it's been hard to get my cycle up and running normally. So that's why I want to get more into the natural tracking of your cycle. Like, what should I eat when I'm ovulating? What type of exercise? I can plan my meetings and my job around that since I have that flexible schedule, but mostly just knowing when it's going to come.
Yeah, totally.
Naturally. How they did it back in the day.
But then that, like, when I think about change and, like...
Like, actually,
is it raining?
It's gonna rain.
Yeah. I wish we could, like, know.
I think we can. I think there's women that can.
Yeah. I can tell by, like, my knees sometimes.
When it's gonna rain?
Yeah.
Oh, me too. That's totally normal.
Your joints. Yeah, your joints.
Your elbows, your knees, because the
isn't, like, pressure?
The air pressure changes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, like, okay, I'm not gonna get all teachery, but yeah.
I remember walking...
The air pressure changes, and so you feel it in your joints.
Yeah, I was walking in college, and I remember specifically, like, literally I started feeling my knees hurt. I'm like, oh, it's gonna rain. And then literally 30
and it's
minutes
not
later.
just an old person thing. I think sometimes it's like old men are like, this elbow's hurting. It's gonna rain. And I'm like, why do I feel that too? I'm not an old man. But no, it's just because...
Some people feel that.
Yeah.
The only like, little superpower I think I have, and I think a lot of women have, is intuition. Like, a woman's intuition... I have never been wrong about my intuition. Once.
Same.
I know you're lying to me when you're lying to me.
And I know when things feel right. I know when I'm like when I have to make a decision and I'm like, this one feels good, it always ends up being good. Yeah. So
but when it feels wrong too, it's like so
obvious. I can feel the pit in my stomach where I'm like, that's not what I need to be doing right now.
Yeah. When you wake up in the middle of the night, let's not.
No, stop. We're not getting that.
We're going to talk about that another time.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you guys later.
I was just going to tell you guys, I found the thing about the period things. But basically, when you're on your period, like the menstrual part, it's low impact workouts, lots of walking and stretching.
When you're menstruating.
Right. Okay. The opposite, like the follicular, and ovulation, that's when you do like cardio, HIIT, weightlifting, circuit training, and stuff like that.
That's when women feel their best, is that follicular phase. It's when you feel like energized.
And ovulation.
And like horny and stuff.
Yeah. Also, this is just like a really long list, but it's like, we can post this on the website or on our Instagram. But basically, there's like a lot of vegetables and fruits that you can eat on your period. But like the meats, duck and pork. So you're not eating like beef. You're not
supposed to eat beef?
I guess not.
That's pretty crazy. I've heard you're not supposed to eat beans.
I mean, that's just...
At this point, I have no idea.
Okay.
Lots of seafood. Stuff like that.
See, I want to know more about that stuff.
Like, I do too. I need to research
what did the other phases said?
About food?
No, like what we should do. Go back to that picture you had. Yeah, the workout.
So follicular, cardio, and HIIT, ovulation, HIIT, weightlifting, circuit training, boot camp.
Okay, so ovulation you feel great too.
Right.
So
luteal is like Pilates, yoga, resistance training.
You're
so
about
like
to get.
So it's like way more like low impact but still strength training.
Right.
And then menstrual is like low impact walking, stretching.
So follicular, cardio and HIIT, ovulation, like heavy lifting weights, cardio, luteal, Pilates, yoga, and menstrual. It's just for me, it's like every workout's hard, so whatever. Like it doesn't make a difference.
See, but I wish I would have known that earlier too. You know, so I could start making my lifestyle or like changing my lifestyle to make those habits where now like I'm gonna start doing that. But if I would have known that at like 15, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny, I've known about this for like 6 months now and I still didn't.
I still do. I go about my day depending on how I feel. If I feel awful that day, I'm not gonna go do cardio. Like I feel like you don't
it is intuitive as well.
You don't have to memorize this. Like just know what your body feels like and act accordingly because you know the first day of your period, you don't want to go run.
Right.
You don't want to. And so
and when you're on your period, you for sure like don't go quite as hard. I don't lift quite as.
I don't even go to the gym on my period.
And I think you're supposed to take in more warm foods when you're menstruating, like soups and just warmer foods, like richer foods to help you.
Soup sounds so good right now.
Teas. So,
Is
is there anything else that you want to add before we
just
wrap
that
up?
you guys got this.
Educate yourselves. We're all learning. We're in our late 20s and
I'm still learning.
Yeah, and because we come from such a taboo like generation, it's time for us. Yes, it's up to us to break the cycle. The kids that you have, teach them right and educate your girls and man. Because I so wish most of my boyfriends that I've had in my life like knew what was going on instead of being so insensitive and so like harsh on me. Like, no, you should go to the gym or no. Like, I wish men knew more.
I'm sorry, men are telling you that?
Yeah, I've had that said to me. Like, you should go to the gym. You should put I know women that go to the gym when they're on their period, so you should go kind of thing. For sure.
I'm sorry, men who do not experience this and have no sort of knowledge to what we feel have told you this?
Yes.
Bro,
and so
men
I just feel like, but I feel like they don't really understand how much it takes for a woman to go through a period.
No, it's true.
So educating them and making them realize, like, this is how you take care of your wife when they're in their period if you don't want to be killed.
Yes. My brothers, especially my older brother, when I got my period, he was like, oh, this is so funny. I'm going to make fun of her all the time. So we'd go to Walmart and he'd grab like a box of tampons and be like, period.
It's so embarrassing.
And it was so embarrassing. But like, as time went on, both of my brothers and my dad are insanely like sensitive towards us. They're, like if I'm like, oh, I'm period, like I need tampons or whatever. Any one of my brothers, my dad will go buy me things. Like they are so. And honestly, I come from a very open family where we talk about things, where we like have no like shame in sharing certain things, and so yeah, I will hope to raise kids like that one day that I'm like.
We just need to talk about it more so we can be open, comfortable. It's not taboo.
It's the most normal thing in the world for girls to have. For people to get their periods, because there are also some people that are not girls that get their periods as well. And so
I'm trying.
Like, that's how people came into this world.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, we're all here because a woman had a period.
So
because women get periods, and then that whole process happens.
Right. So if it weren't for a period, you wouldn't be here today, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So there's obviously so much more that we can talk on. The article is really cool. It talks about all the different taboos. There's some that are very positive and some that are just kind of bad, you could say. But I guess I just agree with what you guys say. Like, just educate yourselves and let's just try to be better for the next generations.
And if you haven't tried a tampon yet, it's time.
We're going to get Gato on this train so soon. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.